Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam,
Brother Yardan.
Brother Right.
coming back at you with these precepts, another Monday Night Fire live stream. Giving all, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach wa Malak Yahushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David. That's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahushai. A hearty shalom to you mighty men that go out there and labor and do the work of the Most High on the highways and byways, risking your life to magnify Yahweh by Shema Yahushai. Shalom to the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they still keeping the commandments, abiding the will of the Lord, getting their households in order, fasting, praying, and are sincere in these last days. Shalom to the Aquath out there, holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being submissive, guiding the household, raising up the children, and even if they unmarried, they're still keeping thus said the Lord. Shalom to everybody on the live stream. The topic of this live stream is what really happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. We did a breakdown of what really happened in the Garden of Eden, kind of poured out some things that a lot of that's not brought out. We're going to pretty much follow that same spirit, going to Genesis, the 19th chapter. We may go into some articles. We may go and pull up some maps, right, about where these things occurred. Talk about the spirit world with the angels, right? So we're going to get into it. Genesis chapter 19 and verse 1, right? Everybody should have their sword or their Bible, your Apocrypha, right? You should have your Apocrypha. You should have your Bible. Get your Bible ready. You should have your notepad, right? Or whatever you take notes in, your pen, right? Highlighters, All right, so let's do it. Genesis 19 and 1.
It's Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. And it reads this. And there came two angels to sit to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground.
Right. And real quick, the background in Genesis 19, now that we think about it, let's go to Genesis chapter 13. Let's go to Genesis chapter 13 and let's read 1 through 12 or 1 through 13.
It's Genesis chapter 13, verse 1.
Because Lot didn't accidentally stumble into Sodom, right? There's a reason how Lot went into Sodom. Let's read Genesis the 13th chapter, these verses.
And Abraham went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him, into the south.
And Lot is Abraham's nephew, right? Lot is Abraham's nephew, if you did not know, or Abram. It says Abram, right? Abraham had two brothers, Nahor and Haran. Haran died in the plain. Haran had a son named Lot. Lot is traveling with Abraham. All right. So back in the ancient world, we looked out for one another when your father died, like the book of Esther, right? When Esther gave up the spirit, hey, Mordecai, he was right there. You always got a support structure and family around you to take care of you, man, in the ancient times. So we can go on.
And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold.
Right.
And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai.
Right. And Salakia, it says Abram was very rich in cattle, silver, and gold, and that's true wealth. Like we always go into, Abraham didn't have paper money. Paper money don't make you rich. Salakia, this damn currency, digital. Abraham didn't have cryptocurrency. He wasn't into forex or nothing like that. He had cattle. He had gold. He had silver. He had an army. Hey, these top men on the Forbes 500, where's their standing army? A personal 318 soldiers that can kill, So Abram was up there, man. Right? We can go on.
Verse 4, unto the place of the altar, which he had made there at the first, and there Abram called on the name of the Lord.
So Abraham knew the name of the Most High even before Moses, right? A lot of people say Moses was the first one to get the name of the Lord. He called upon the name of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, right?
And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together.
Right.
And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanite
Salaki, go on.
and the Perizzite dwelt then in the land.
So why are they strifing? Because it's too much. You got the cattle, they butting heads with Lot's cattle, fighting over what grass to eat. Servants probably fighting over, look, we're gonna drink of this water. It's the land can't bear them. They were so wealthy and so rich in these resources that they have to divide, right? Basically, it's like two nations. Lot got servants. He may have a little bit of armies with him. You know, Lot he got his woman and his gold and stuff, and Abram got his, man. You know, so they got to separate for this time.
And Abram, verse 6, and Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren.
Right.
Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left.
So Abram didn't care where he was going, because he knew the Most High was going to direct his steps. He wasn't covetous on what land to pick. He knew it was the best land, but he let Lot choose, because he knew that wherever the Most High put him, he was going to be well off. Right? You can go on.
And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar.
Right.
Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other.
Right.
Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tents toward Sodom.
Now, everybody knew about Sodom and Gomorrah back then. So Lot, he kind of ran the risk. You pitch your tents towards Sodom, you playing with fire. You know, yeah, I just want to hang outside the strip club, right? Or yeah, I just want to, hang out. I want to hang outside the casino. Bro, don't pitch your dwelling place towards something that where it can cause you to go off, man. You don't want to be around that, right? So sometimes he saw that land that was good and stuff, but you run the risk of kind of getting jammed up being amongst them Sodomites, man. And that's how Jake do in the world, man. You want the good things in life, but you ignore the obvious things, man. That may cause you to go astray. Right? So you got to be kind of circumspect. Lot really wasn't being circumspect and where he was moving. He just saw the good, but his eyes wasn't focused on, the evil that may come. Pitching your tent. Hey, if you want to pitch your tent towards, I'm trying to give a good example. What's a wicked place, man? That's like you say, look, I want to move because
Next
this land
to
got a mosque. Yeah, let's say a mosque, or like I said, a strip club or a brothel. It may be let's say you want a nice condo. It got a loft in it. It may have 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, whatever you like. Maybe a garage, but it's sandwiched in between a mosque and a strip club. Right now, you can take that. Now, don't be surprised if the brother living there, he start going the hell off, man. Putting himself in a situation. All right. So this is what Lot doing, man. So we can go on.
Verse 13. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly.
Right. And that's all we want. Right. The men of Sodom were wicked and sinners exceedingly before the Lord. Now we're going to read about Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, that's Genesis 19. Like a brother said, Mecca. You want to live towards Mecca. You know, you don't want to live near Mecca. All right. So let's go to that.
It's Genesis
Why
chapter
why
19.
think Abraham didn't pick that land? Abraham knew about that. Abraham could have said, "Look, hey, I want that. It's land. It's cattle, enough grass, enough water for my people to eat. Hey, let's live." But Abram knew better. You know, he let the Lord take him in the right path. So let's go back to that.
It's Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. And there came two angels to sit to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground.
Right. And
And
these angels, we're going to read why they came to Sodom. All right. And why was Lot sitting at the gate? Because Lot kind of had, remember, first Lot pitched his tent towards Sodom. So how did he end up living in Sodom? Right? The Lord is not going to tell you how he ended up living in the city. But now he pitched his tent toward there. Now he in that city. You know. Now we don't know what happened. You know, maybe his woman might have his daughters might have found the guy in Sodom, or maybe Lot might have met a woman, from Sodom, or whatever the case may be, right? But remember, first he pinched. That's like you pitch your house towards Mecca. Now you living in Mecca, right? You in between the strip club and the damn brothel. Now you in the brothel. So you gotta be careful, man. Let me get this quick precept real quick.
Yeah. And to touch on what the brother's saying, there's no in-depth breakdown on why and how, like the brother said, could have been for convenience of food, right? Instead
Yeah,
of trial, right?
it could be food. Hey, there's this movie I was telling.
business.
Yeah, business trade. There's this movie about Sodom and Gomorrah came out, I believe, in a might have been like the 60s, 70s, and they actually went into Sodom and Gomorrah and they go into kind of the biblical account, about what happened. Now everything's not biblically accurate to a T, but it kind of paint the picture, man. Or I kind of paint the picture. I believe in the movie, Lot ended up going into Sodom for business, right? To sell salt, or because basically it was a war. This in the movie, it was a war, and Lot and his people, they ran out of natural resources, so they kind of moved into the city, right? But they were getting tempted in the city. Lot thought that nothing would happen to him when they went into the city, but for all of the men that Lot was with, they ended up going the hell off. And Lot kind of started going off in the movie. He started getting into that business with the Sodomites, So there's no detail on how Lot ended up in this city. The Lord don't tell you. But we do know that Lot in this city, he wasn't low key. Lot, he had authority in this city. Remember, he sat in the gate. So Lot was a man of renown in this city. He had, when you sit in the gate of a city, you have influence. Right. You have the ability to influence man's minds, right? To make you believe that you're a man of authority. You have charisma, you have influence. That's what men that sat in the gate. There's precepts about sitting in the gate, man. Let me get this precept real quick.
I got one after you.
Come on, let me go to the book of Ruth. All right, let's go to the book of Ruth. So we got to kind of extrapolate and go behind the scenes, man. All right, let's go to the book of Ruth. Bear with me and read about Boaz. All right, let's read about Boaz. This is the book of Ruth. I'll read chapter 4 and 1. Right? This is the book of Ruth, chapter 4 and 1. Then went Boaz up to the gate and sat him down there. And behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he said, Ho, such a one, turn aside, sit down. And he turned aside and sat down. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, Sit ye down here. And he sat down. And he said unto the kinsman, Naomi, that has come again out of the country of Moab, selleth the parcel of land, which was our brother Elimelech's. So basically, Boaz went out there And he took men that had authority in the city, the elders, right? Who called the shots out there. So Lot, he was pretty much making moves out there, man. Right? Rather, he was looking out for his family, whatever the case may be. But you can't just be a nobody sitting in the gates.
Yeah.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 87 and verse 1. His foundation is in the holy mountain. The Lord loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. So he loveth the strength, the power, right? The judges, the prophets. He loved those men of understanding more than all the dwellings of Jacob, man. Because you got Jake that's just out there, damn, sipping right on the corner, shooting dice. And he love the men that want to sit in the gates, man. Men of renown, right? That have knowledge and understanding. I got another precept, right? It's the book of Proverbs, right? Bear with me. Chapter 31. Let me see what I want. Verse 23. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land, right? So her husband, who is her, right? That Proverbs 31 woman. The Lord is not going to give the Proverbs 31 woman a nigga, man, a drunken, right? A fool, somebody that's off in Christianity, right? Because the Lord is going to match up that spirit, man. And this Proverbs 31 woman's matching her husband is a leader, somebody that has authority sitting in the gates with the elders.
That's right. That's right. That's why it says wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate in Proverbs 24:7. Because who was at the gate? The wise men. If you was a fool, you had to be quiet when you came across the men in the gate, man. You know? So
Got a
I went.
precept.
Oh, go ahead.
This Sirach 21 and 7. Just to love you back on how he was a man of authority. An eloquent man is known far and near, but a man of understanding knoweth when he slippeth. Point is, he was an eloquent man, right? He walked differently, you know. You gotta remember, he's still, I believe, one of the sons of God. So he has that light to him, you know. Him and Abraham was related. His nephew, or he was his nephew.
Now, one more note on the gate. Let me pull this up. This from the screen. I'm gonna share this on the screen. When you go to the dictionary, the Bible dictionary for the word gate, it says at the gates of cities. Can brother see this? Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. All right, so bear with me. It says at the gates of cities, courts of justice were frequently held, and hence judges of the gate, right? Spoken of Deuteronomy 16, Deuteronomy 17, 21, and other precepts. At the gates, prophets also frequently delivered their messages. Criminals were punished without the gates, you know? So basically, it was a place where you had a lot of officiating going on and charges being held amongst the people, right? That was done amongst the gates. So there's a reason why Lot sat in the gate, all right, like we're going into. So let's read that again, Baba Kasha, in Genesis chapter 19. Let's read one.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground.
Right, now Lot knew that these were angels, right? Sometimes you may not know, right? But Lot knew that these were angels, right? Go on.
You got to be at a spiritual level to discern, okay, this man is an angel.
Yeah.
Not everybody, you might bump into an angel every day. You might just think, oh, that's just a nigga. He ain't doing nothing with his life. I was an angel more than likely.
I got a quick precept on that real quick. Right, this the classic, this 2 Kings chapter 6 and 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Right, so you got to be, like Yaradan said, on a very high spiritual level to be able even to see the angels, man. Right? Because right now there's angels around you. You know, there's chariots of fire about you, angels around you, all right, innumerable amount, right? But Elisha was on such a high level with that double portion of Elijah's spirit, he was even able to see them angels around him 24/7, right? His servant really couldn't see that, but Elisha was on a different level. Lot was on a different level, you know. Lot may have not saw the angels around him, but he could recognize an angel. We can't figure that out nowadays. Trying to figure out what's going on. Is that an angel? And he was an old man. Well, I don't know. Man, have been a fool. So Jake, you really can't really discern that, you know. Hey, the Lord said in Hebrews. Let me get Hebrews chapter 13 real quick precept. Right, one more real quick. This Hebrews chapter 13, and I'll read 2. I'll start at 1. It reads, "Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares." So sometimes you meet a person out in the street. It could be an angel, and you have to entertain them. It don't mean be a juggle for them, you know, be a comedian for them. Right. If you know how to do the worm, you do the worm for the angel. You entertain him. You know. That's not what it's talking about. You know, it's going into showing charity and hospitality to the people of your nation. You know.
I got a quick question. It's the book of Tobit, right? Chapter 12 and verse 13. "And when thou didst not delay to rise and leave thy dinner to go and cover the dead, and to thee in good deeds was not hid from thee, but I was with thee." And this is talking about Raphael peeping all of the works that Tobias was doing. "And now God hath sent me to heal thee and Sarah thy daughter-in-law. I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels, which present the prayers of the saints, and which go in and out before the glory of the Holy One." Then they both, right, troubled and fell upon their faces, for they feared. Right, like the brother just brought out in the book of Hebrews 13 and 2. Right, you will never know what's going on. A person at your job, right? That brother that's always there for you, right? Hey, the Lord could come in, right in the nick of time. Somebody present something to you, right? All of that could be the works of the Lord via the angel. So you never know, right, who's an angel or who's not. But certain men were on certain high levels, man, that could discern those things.
Right, like when it could be the Lord Himself. Remember, the Lord appeared before the apostles, man. You know, He appeared to Mary Magdalene. That's why I tell you in Matthew 24:37 on down, as oft as you done to the least of my brethren, you have done to me. Because sometimes it is the Lord, man. When saw we thee a sick? Right? When saw we thee a hunger? When saw we thee naked, man? Right? Well, that might have been the Lord Himself. All right, this Genesis real quick. Another quick precept on the host of the Lord. Genesis chapter 32 and 1. "And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of the Most High met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, This is the Most High's host. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim." Right? Now, Jake, your mind is all polluted through subliminal messages, and we're on a lower level, right? Man, right now, even you in this truth, right? Knowing all of the breakdowns, you still on a lower level, man. You're a little more polluted. Remember, you still have that grain of evil seed from Adam in you, but the fruit has abounded much more, right? And sin is increasing, right? The Lord said, "Iniquity shall abound," right? So during the time of Lot, they were a little less defiled. Their spirits were a little more clear when they can be able to see these things, man. You know? So we can let's brother at something else. We can go back to Genesis 19.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 2. "And he said, Behold, now, my lords, turn in."
Real quick point on a commentary for Genesis 19 and 1. When it says 2 angels, it says Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. It says Lot had probably become a member of Sodom's ruling council. See that? Since a city gateway served as the administrative and judicial center where legal matters were discussed and prosecuted. So, hey, he pitched his tent towards Sodom. He might have went in there sincere. He might, like Arad said, he might have went in there for business. He might have went in there for trade, but we don't know what happened. Now he's on a council, you know. So you got to be careful, man. You pitch like we went into, you pitched your tent toward Mecca. Now you in charge of keeping the Mecca stone clean. You know, yeah, I kind of know what's going on. Hey, it's a lot about Genesis 19, man. You got to kind of read between the lines in these accounts. All right, so like a yard down.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 2. And he said, Behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go in your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
Right.
And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
So
and we know all things. It's like we know Most High, made it work the way he wanted to work. But he was pressing them angels. Come in my house. I got this. You sure you don't want this and that and the third? Not that the angels needed to eat or that they was cold, but you just see, Lot doing his thing.
Right. And that show you the law has been here from the beginning. Right. The law said that we should love one another. You heard that from the beginning. Right. A lot of brothers say, well, show me the law has been here from the beginning. Why is Lot showing the hospitality to the angels, man? And brotherly love. Because that goes back to being your brother's keeper. Hey, when the angels pop up before you, you know they angels, look, you better go all out, man. You don't just tell an angel, look, hang out. You better go all out. You better become that host. You better have wine and food, and they coming over. Man, you better treat these angels well, man. You sleep on the floor, they in your bed.
I got a precept.
James
chapter 2, right? I'm gonna start at 14. What doeth a prophet, my brethren, though a man say he had faith and not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked or destitute, right, of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye not warmed and filled, notwithstanding, ye give them not those things which ye are needful to the body, what doeth it profit? Even so, faith, if it have not works, it is dead. Right. So not to say that the angels is destitute of food or anything, but that's just caring for your brother. Right. And Lot knew that, man. Is there anything you needed? Hey, I got it. Right. And your brother shouldn't have to act certain things. You offer brother a drink and he's not even thirsty. Just out of the love of man the Lord. The brother don't gotta be sitting there damn tapping his damn throat and scratching it, right? And damn mouth feeling dry for you to offer him something to drink, man.
Right.
That's right. So these angels said, look, we don't want to come in. We want to stay in the street all night. And there's a reason why they said they want to stay in the streets all night. The angels didn't come down to hang out, man, with Lot. Yeah, we want to kick it with Lot today. They told the Lord, hey, look, let's kick it with Lot. They ain't come out there to kick it with Lot, man. The angels don't come down here to have fun with mankind. Right? So there's a reason why they came down. Go ahead, y'all.
No, I was just saying, they don't have leisure time to kind of take a sick day, and that wasn't their goal.
Right. They racked up a lot of vacation time. And the Lord said, well, look, hey, where you want to go? They said, I always want to kick it with a lot, man. Right? And they said, well, look, y'all two, look, you're on vacation, but you got to be back on a new moon. That ain't never happened, man. Right? So they pressing Lot out about staying outside. Right? In verse 4. Let's read that. And Salakia, in Genesis 19:3, it says, and he made them a feast and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. Now to Lot, it looked like they ate, but they never ate. Right? And Tobit, I believe that's the 12th chapter, tell you that, hey, you saw a vision. Because the angels don't eat, man. They don't get hungry and say, look, damn, Lot. They licking their fingers and I want seconds. And you hear the angel's stomach growling and he's sweating. Now you got to go to the bathroom. Hey, they're not doing that.
Kind of burnt.
It's the book of Tobit, chapter 12, right? And I'm gonna get straight to the point. It's Tobit 12 and 19. All these days did I appear unto you, but I did neither eat nor drink, but you did see a vision. So, hey, he put him in the trance, man. And the Lord can make you see things that aren't really there, right?
Right.
Sitting there, right? The angel kind of getting it in. You kind of like, oh yeah, I cooked that unleavened bread good, right? Kind of feeling good, right? But the whole time you in a trance.
Yeah. And you don't know if you're in a trance. You know, you go to the grocery store, you see a guy out there kind of eating a sandwich. Because the Lord, what he can do is he can put you in a trance and have everybody else around you be going through the regular motions. Right? He did that to Paul, man, in the book of Acts, the 9th chapter. Right? I get that account after you bring out what you guys say, y'all done.
Not to nerd out, but on Naruto, they got something called a genjutsu. Right, where you in a trance, you seeing stuff, but everybody else around you, you know, it's the regular day.
See that? And they got that from the scriptures, man.
Yeah.
All right, they got that from the scriptures. Now this is Acts chapter 9 and verse 3. Right, this is the book of Acts chapter 9 and 3. And it reads, and as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven, right? And he fell to the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And that's how it was shot, right? Whether he came in a spaceship, right, or not. It says, and he said, who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yahweh Shai, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he trembling, this Paul trembling, and astonished said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. Here's the point, Acts chapter 9 and 7. And the men which journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice, but seeing no man. See that? So the Lord can have men around you hearing things, but they can't see. Why is the brother talking to? You know, you walk in the room and the brother talking to himself. That brother's bugged out. No, that brother talking to an angel. Hopefully, the Lord, that brother talking to an angel, man. You may not see him, but that's what the trance the Lord put him in. You know?
This is the book of Acts chapter 10, right? And verse 9. On the morrow, as they went on their journey and drew nigh into the city, Peter went up upon the housetop to pray about the 6th hour, right? So Peter praying on top of a housetop, and he became very hungry, and I would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance. So the Lord will put you in a trance, and you don't even know it, right? The Lord speaking to you, like the brother just brought out Acts 9, right? And Acts 10. It's all throughout the Bible. The Lord could put you in a trance, you don't even know what's going on. And the Lord could put you in a trance to do things righteously, man. You don't even know or perceive you did it. There's no let me get this in the book of Sirach, man, real fast.
Come bring it out.
I'm gonna ask the Lord, man.
And I got the definition of trance after you're done.
Right, it's the book of Sirach, right? Chapter 18 and verse 3. Who governeth the world with the palm of his hand? In all things obey his will, for he is the king of all. By his power dividing holy things among them that are profane. To whom have he given power to declare his works? And who shall find out his noble acts? I mean, you can't find these things out, man. You don't know how many times the Lord then use you as a vessel to help somebody else. How many times you done talk to angels, right? How many times the Lord has did, right, the noble acts that you can't declare.
That's right. Now here's the definition of trance. It reads, we got two definitions. A half-conscious state. This is Esau's explanation, right? A half-conscious state characterized by an absence of response to external stimuli, typically as induced by hypnosis or entered by a medium, right? Another definition they got, trance is an abnormal state of wakefulness in which a person is not self-aware, right? Like the Tobias wasn't aware that the angel wasn't actually eating, right? And is either altogether unresponsive to external stimuli or is selectively responsive and following the directions of the person who has induced the trance. Trance states may occur involuntarily and unbidden. And in the book of Acts, the 12th chapter, right, in the book of Acts, chapter 12, Peter thought he saw a vision when the angel bust him out. But that thing actually happened. I was gonna get another count. Let me get one more count real quick or another one. Unless the brother got something else. This Daniel chapter 10 and verse 6. Right, I'll start at 5. Daniel chapter 10 and 5. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz, right? Needless to say, this is Hamashiach Wamalak Yahushua, right? His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning. And he had eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. So Daniel was walking with these men, and the Lord put him in a trance, and he saw these angels and Yahweh Shai and the glory of the Lord, and the men that are with him, like, what is he looking at? And all they start doing was shaking, man. Right? So that's what's going on in Genesis chapter 19. When Lot fed them, he's in a trance, right? And he's seeing as if they're eating, but they're not really eating. They're just going through the protocol, you know? And the Lord don't got to ask you, can he put you in a trance? Hey, Ryan, can I put you in a trance in the apparition? And you got to sign his waiver and sign his paperwork. And the Lord don't got to do that. If he want to put you in a trance, hey, the Lord could do that. If you want to give you a strong delusion, hey, that's a trance, man. A lot of you brothers, you believe that this place gonna last forever. You stuck in the damn strange apparition, you know? Well, that's something else. So let's go back to it. Genesis chapter 19. Let's read 3 one more time.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 3. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
Right.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
See that they about to go to bed, and them men in Sodom smell like that's the smell of new man flesh, right? They smell heavenly, right? And then now you gotta, when you read the scriptures, you can't just read passages. You gotta know, how did this happen? Right. Did everybody just randomly just say, let's go? No, this word spread around town. Somebody said, hey, I saw these good-looking men coming to Sodom. Then they went to tell somebody. Then they went to spread the word. Everybody, by the time Lot bowed down to the angels, the word was going out that we're going to get up and rape these men. That was the word that was sent out. You know, that didn't just randomly happen. Now let's see. I kind of jumped the gun, but let's see why they coming to surround Lot's house. Think of, you got 4-year-olds out there. You got 95-year-olds. You got 13-year-olds. All of these boys and men. Let's see if they want to ask Lot a breakdown on the scriptures. Right? Let's see what they out here for.
And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
And they're not whispering that. That's something that's kind of loud. And they're pretty aggressive. Now, does the Lord say that they're yelling and they're aggressive? No, but that's what's going on. Right? You got it, Yardan.
They banging on the door. Where are those men at? You know, they foaming at the mouth. They mouth all watery. Their eyes getting watery. Where are those men at?
Right.
Right.
They're trying to get them in angels,
right? And to go in depthly on how they were being loud is you can't hear nobody if you outside of a house. You got to kind of yell that, man.
Yeah.
You got the old movies where they throwing the rocks at the window trying to get your attention. And you're gonna have to yell up there to get them to hear you, man.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
those houses back then was made with the wood, the brick. It was stronger back then. They had these little plastic houses they got now, man. So they had to yell, man. They probably had a damn door this thick, right? And no telling, man. So they had to get that out.
Yeah. And when it says bring them out, that's right. It says bring them out into us that we may know them. That's not talking about, hey, well, what's your favorite this and that, right? Do you prefer the summertime or the wintertime? Is that what that's not what they asking them, man? All right. That's a euphemism for let's have sex with these men, right? Bring all of these men out that we can gang rape them, right? And I hate to put it like that, but that's what it is, right? That's what it is. That's what's going on, right? We're not going to sugarcoat it. That's what's going down. You got a group of men that want to rape these other men. All right, so we can go on. All right, this Genesis chapter 19 and verse 5. I'll read 5 again. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us that we may know them. And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. So it's telling you, hey, if you want to lie down with another man, that's wickedly, man. That is wickedly. It reads, behold, now I have 2 daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. So he said, hey, well, look, hey, I got these 2 daughters. You got to have these daughters.
Hey, Salaki, real fast. That's how you know the law was here from the beginning. That's another cut. So why would Lot know that? He said, man, this is wicked. Right? This is evil. It's abominable, man. Right? Don't do this. I got daughters that you can have.
Yep. That's real, man. And these things happen a lot, man. I believe in DC. We brought that up before. In DC, there's a van, right? You brothers in that PG DC area, man, you gotta be careful, right? Because there's a van of guys that drive around. Now we've seen this, man. And they travel through the streets of DC. And if you you might have got off of work, you might be waiting on the train, or you might have went and grabbed something to eat. But when this van pulls up and they slide open the van, it's a group of lustful men up there. And what they do is they grab men up in that van, and they have their way with these men. Then they kick them out the van, and the man got to kind of have his head down, right, for a great period of time, because they go out and they actually do that in certain cities, man. And I actually had a list real quick. Let me pull this up. Now I pulled this list up. Slakia, bear with me. This is the list of the most. Now all I did was type in most homosexual cities, right? And we got a list of what are the gayest cities in the world, right? They have Madrid, Spain, right? Let's see what we can get out of this, right? These are the most Sodomite cities in the world, man. All right, Madrid, Spain. So if you were to pitch your tent towards Madrid, Spain, hey, you might go off, man. It's not hard to see why Madrid came out on top. This bustling city came out on top with almost near perfect scores. You see that? At every category. Madrid is home to one of the largest gay communities in the world, and it's the host of the annual World Pride, where everybody around the world come to be a homosexual. They come to Madrid, Spain, which aims to celebrate diversity and highlight communities still fighting for their rights around the world. Madrid was also the host of Euro Pride in 2017, making it the center of Pride celebrations. All right. See that?
It perfect scores in each category. What category?
Exactly. Right. See, they got that rainbow. Amsterdam is number 2. Amsterdam has been recognized as one of the most open and liberal places in the world for a very long time, and is very inclusive of everyone, no matter sexuality or gender identity. See, they didn't say race, all right? It says Amsterdam has many gay-friendly districts, from the LGBT nightlife district and the whatever that is, so like you can't really pronounce that, to the LGBT-friendly shops, all right? You got see that they got gay jetpackers. All right. You see that? Toronto is number 3. Tel Aviv, right? Tel Aviv is in the land of Israel, man. Right? It used to be the gay capital of the world. London, right? Those are the top 5. Now, also on this list, they say what is the gayest state? Minneapolis has been called the gayest city in America by Advocate, the national gay news magazine. You see that? So if you out in Minneapolis, you know that's the capital of Sodom and Gomorrah in Babylon. You see that, right? And we heard about Atlanta and other places, but those are like the top Edomite places, man. You know,
Yeah, precept, right? And the
come,
classic, man, right? 'Cause that's all the toxins of this world, right? It's the book of Romans, chapter 1, right? And I'm gonna start at verse 26. But this cause God gave them up to vile affection, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of women, burned in their lust, one toward another. Right? So when they was beating on that door, man, they was burned in the lust, man. Right? That's deep, man, when you think about it, how off that city was, man. Right? How Satan was moving all around, going to and fro through these men's minds that had them beating on the door trying to rape the angels. Men working, so like it, men with men working that which is unseemly and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat, right? So that's wicked as hell, man. Right? And that burning, when you burning in something, that's going to just kindle a fire and a word of destruction. It's the book of Sirach, right? Chapter 28 and verse 12. If thou blow the spark, it shall burn. And if you entertain something, this is going into the tongue, but on another fold, if you entertain something, you blowing that spark. And when you get a fire started, it don't just combust. You got to kind of start it, right? You got to get the wood, right? You got to shoot the little flame on there. You got to light. It's a process to this thing, man, right? If thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched. And both of these come out of thy mouth. So they were screaming vile and wicked things, man, until that thing combust into the flame that they was in for these men, right? And that's wicked as hell. And I want to link that up real fast, too, when you go to the book of Judges, right?
right,
Yeah, because it's an account of Judges of this thing, man.
right,
A lot
right.
of homosexuals, man, right? And wicked men and seducers. It's the book of Judges, chapter 19 and verse 22. Now, as they were making their hearts merry, having a good time, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about, just like with Lot, right? And the angels, they beset the house round about, right? And beat at the door and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, bring forth the men that came into thine house that we may know him. Man, straight like that. They was trying to damn game rape the man, right? Beating on the door like the same account, man. And these are homosexuals. Like the brother brought out, man. That's a serious thing. Got brothers hopping out of vans, right? Seeking men walking home from work, right? Oh, hell breaking loose. And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly. Hey, didn't Lot say the same thing? Hey, the righteous is always going to be righteous. They always going to condemn the wicked. They always going to speak, thus saith the Lord, no matter any situation, man. And it may have been scary. There's no account how strong these men was trying to get to this man, right? Do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is coming to mine house. Do not this folly. Behold, There is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them. Meaning take, you know what I'm saying, take my daughter, right? Have her, right? Humble her, right? Going into her, but don't be transgressing the words of the Lord, doing these wicked and abominable things, man. Right? It says, then I will bring out now and humble them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile a thing. But the men would not hearken to him. They was burned in their lust, man. They had their mind made up that they wanted man flesh. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth into them, and they knew her and abused her all night until the morning. It's wicked. Oh, and when the day began to spring, they let her go. Right. So you got wicked homosexual accounts, man. Right. And these are written for our learning sake, man. You're supposed to hate the wicked, man. Hate the abominable, man. And keep thus saith the Lord as the righteous.
God.
That's right. I want to pull this up real quick. Now, this is from The Guardian, right? It's so now, can brother see this? It's okay to be ourselves. Atlanta LGBT community in their own words. All right. Let's see what it says. And no, it's not, they're saying it's okay to be yourself. That's a demon. They don't understand that their spirit has been infiltrated by demons. You know, that's me. Just having demons on you is not normal, man. Right? That's not you being you. You got people that say, well, let them do them. That's demons on them, man. Right? It says Atlanta is the center. And we're going, most I will, we're going to be out in Atlanta. What is that? The 19th through, I believe, the 22nd, man. Right? Atlanta is the center of the African American LGBT community in the South. We asked Black Pride attendees what makes Atlanta seem so important. Right? It says, let me zoom in a little bit, man. I feel bad for brothers in Atlanta, man. Right?
And we call it gay lantern.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's gay.
Yeah, you got Morehouse. A lot of them men, you want to go to Morehouse to be with another man. You know? Spelman. You got a lot of lesbians and dykes up in Spelman. You know? It says Atlanta Black Pride Weekend is the largest event of its kind in the U.S., attracting 80,000 people to the city. Hey, people save up sick days at work to go to Atlanta and freak out, man. Vacation days. Tell a wife, hey, look, I got a trip. Yeah, I got a trip in Atlanta. I got a business trip. Your woman saying, okay, you know, keep your head up. Be safe. You're going to crush that presentation. Hey, he's not going there for a presentation, man. He knows around that time. Oh, go ahead.
He is the presentation.
Yeah, he is the presentation. And he's going to be getting crushed or doing the crushing, right? So he's going down to Atlanta to you know, dabble into these things. Right. It says Atlanta has become known as a travel destination for many Black Israelites who feel it is one of the few places in the South where they can feel safe and free. But for those who actually call it home, Atlanta can be difficult to navigate. Racism, sexism, and homophobia are rife. Being Black and gay also means being more exposed than most of the threat of HIV. Check this out. 67% of all those diagnoses, right, from HIV in Fulton County, which includes most of downtown Atlanta, are gay and bisexual men, and 80% or 4 out of 5 of those are African American. See that? 80, look at this. You see that? Is the Lord dealing with this?
Right. And he could knock him out whole time.
Oh, yeah, he can knock him out. This guy is about 6'5", man. Hold on. And this is Bishop Oliver Clyde, the third on the left. That's a bishop. You see that? That's Bishop Oliver. That's madness, man. You see that? Bishop Oliver Pride or Oliver Clyde. The Lord not dealing with these Christian churches, man. Here's a direct presentation of what you get out of Christianity. The most effeminate, emasculating, damn homosexual religion on the earth, man. You know, let me get this quick precept. Let me get the law, right? Let's get the law straight up in the law in Leviticus chapter 18. Let me get this quick precept. Let's get the law, right? Leviticus chapter 18 and 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind, it is abomination. You see that straight up, man. Right? It says, you got these, I don't even know what's man and woman now. See that? Yvette, this is Yvette and Trey Anthony. Right? We're assuming this is Trey right here with the purple dress on. And that's Yvette. Or he's Yvette and that's Trey.
Salakia. We was at camp. We got this we didn't know what it was. It kind of came up, right? It had the hood on, right, with the baggy jeans, right, kind of bobbing back and forth, right? We didn't know whether that was a damn woman or a man. Next thing you know, her big bull dyke girlfriend come out of nowhere and wrap her arms around her.
Yeah.
Damn.
Madness, man. I remember that.
Yeah.
You see that? Kelly and Chantel, right? You got all them that dyke spirit, man. And there you go, Jake, right? Ryan Christopher, he's a stylist. All right. You know, you got these brothers, and they got beards on their faces, man. Senator Lustin, Will, and Jonathan Bryant. Right? You said what?
They're sitting Indian style.
Right. The Bryants didn't have a fancy wedding. In fact, the two exchanged vows between running errands after work one day. You see that? All right. So the Lord not dealing with Jonathan and this guy, man. Vaughn Alvarez and this bishop, man. Right? This guy, he's a bishop.
You look diabolical. You look about to do some wickedness.
Yeah. All right. And this guy, he's a bishop, man. Right. But you get the point, man. You see what's going on. Right. You see what's going on, man. And these places around the earth. All right. That's what the Most High got to destroy the earth and cleanse it. Let me go to Isaiah chapter 24 real quick. Right. About the earth being defiled. Quick precept before we go back to the topic. Right. This Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. You see that? So that's what makes the earth defiled. A lot of these people, they want to purify the earth by stopping global warming, by so-called global warming, by stopping cutting down the trees, you know, pouring oil in the water. But the earth is already defiled through sin. Right? Through sin and wickedness, man. You can't get the earth back in order unless you have the righteous in order. Once we set back up as a nation of kings and priests, you're not going to have homosexuality in the kingdom of heaven, man. And if you catch an Edomite man sticking in another Edomite damn cabin on a feast day or any day, man, and we're going to drag him up and we have to tell the Edomites, look, you got to stone him. And we got all the Edomites who have to learn how to pick up stones. They're going to have to stone each other. Right? If you see two lesbian Moabites, you know, hey, we got to tell the Moabites, look, hey, look, y'all got to stone her. No, we don't want to. Hey, well, look, pick up that stone. If y'all don't stone them, look, we're going to get put, y'all going to get put to death. And they're going to have to learn these laws, man. You know? So this is madness, man. All right? So we can go back to that in Genesis chapter 19. Unless the brother has something.
Try this real quick.
Right? Is there a homosexual on the comment board? I think we got a homosexual on the comment board.
Yeah, we got a flaming homosexual on the comment board.
Who's the flaming homosexual on the comment board?
And why are you on this channel?
See that?
Gay men are complete in the spirit They are both male and female, like how Adam was before God separated Eve from him. Wow.
Well, I didn't see that
What?
one. You
Yeah,
see
it's
that?
from the actual truth.
Oh yeah. Oh, they out of here. Well, actual truth. Look, you're not going to make it if you don't repent and tomorrow. Yes, me. Well, look, you're not going to make it if you
Wasn't he the
don't
one
repent.
lusting after angels?
I'm the
Yeah.
flamer.
Oh yeah. You see that? Let's get them out of here. All right. You see that? Gotta get them out of here, man. All right.
Flamer.
You see that? Just come on, man. Let's get back to the word, man. The sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. You know, and I was kind of checking them out. I thought that they was on point. They might have pulled a precept or two. Now the spirits start coming out, right? Let's go to Genesis. We got to put, hey, you know, I said, Sakari, they'll pull somebody up on a damn live stream. The actual truth to hop on to be a damn homosexual, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Let's go to Genesis chapter 19. Madness.
Genesis 19:4. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
So wherever you was at, whether you was a king or you was a damn slave, they let these slaves go so they can indulge in deviancy, sexual deviancy, right? A lot. Well, I ain't going to go on. We can go on.
Verse
Hey, some
5.
men they probably came to watch. Some men probably kind of came to just get involved. Certain men they probably, you know, whatever the case may be, huh? Might have thought that Lot was with it, you know. So we can go on.
There was a scribe there, kind of
Scribe.
recording it,
Yep.
you know.
Yep. Because every nation had an account of the events, right? Of what went down. This is one of the major events of what they're recording, you know.
Verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
That we may have sex with them, right? Real quick, let me go to Jude, verse 7, right? Let's go to the book of Jude, and we'll read. It's only one chapter, right? Quick precept on that. This is the book of Jude, verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Because remember, why does it say Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them? Because you had 5 cities. It'll tell you that in Wisdom of Solomon, right? That fire rained upon the 5 cities. You know, you had Sodom, you had Gomorrah, you had I believe Beor, Atma, and Zoar, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the 5 cities where you had a league of Sodomites, you know. So we can go on.
Verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
Right? So Lot said, you got my 2 daughters, but you can't have these angels. And that was a righteous move to make, man. Right? You can go on.
And they said, stand back. And they came slacking. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will need be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
Right, they're saying, look, man, this man act like he gonna tell us what to do, man. Now we wanted to rape these angels. Now we're gonna rape you worse, Lot. That's what they saying. We're gonna get you worse than what we're gonna get these angels, man. You could try and come in and be a judge, you know, try and run stuff, man. We was gonna only get on the angels, but we're gonna deal with you a little bit worse. you know. And now they about to break open the door. They probably throwing stuff. They probably was a military siege, battering rams and archers and they probably called the military to kind of take this house down, huh? They beating on the door, climbing through the window,
Mm-hmm. Got the ladder. You push the ladder up, and all the men just start climbing up.
Yep. There's no telling how big Lot's dwelling place was, man. Right? Remember, he was a man of renown back then. So we can go on.
Verse 10. But the men put forth their hands and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
And back then, hospitality in the ancient times was very important, man. You see these movies about the ancient cultures. They took care of the people that kind of came under their dwelling place, man. They had this movie with back in the day with I'm not sure if brother's seen it, with Mark Wahlberg. He kind of got caught out there with some soldiers against these Ishmaelites, and then he ended up kind of escaping, and he fell in a village of the Ishmaelites. But the Ishmaelites, he looked at him, he was an Edomite, but the Ishmaelites kind of took care of him because he was in a house. Now, even when the other Ishmaelites came and said, bring that man out the house, we got to kill him, he said, no, he's a guest in my house. So even these ancient nations, they big into hospitality and treating their guests well, man. To the point where Lot said, look, you got to have my daughters because these angels are here. I just want to make that point. We can read 11 again, Baba Kasha.
Verse 11. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
And that's not the first account of angels smiting people with blindness. In 2 Kings, the 6th chapter, say the same thing. Right? Acts, the 9th chapter, say the same thing. 2 Maccabees, the 10th chapter, the chariots came and they blinded the men. The angels, they will blind you. Right? You can go on.
And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters? And whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place.
Right.
For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it.
So who's doing the crying? Lot. Lot is crying to the Lord about what's going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. And the angels are hearing those prayers. And bringing it up to the Most High. And the Most High said, all right, I want y'all to go down and really see what's going on in Sodom. The angels, they were sent out there on a recon mission to gather intel, right? Maybe they were going to ask some questions or do some observation, but they were sent down there to gather information to see if this place was really as wicked as what Sodom was crying it, Lot was crying it out to be. So they were there on a mission, but then sometimes you go on a mission, but then the Lord kind of changed gears on them and said, look, I want you to destroy this place because we can see how wicked it is. Right. So it was an extraction. What's the word I'm looking for? A recon mission, but it turned to like an extraction mission. All right. And these are these are soldiers. Remember, these angels are warriors. So you got to apply these military terms to it. They were sent out there on a recon mission, but it turned to like an extraction. They got to get them to the LZ, So we can
a quick precept.
I got a precept after you.
It's Sirach 35 and 16. He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds. So we know Lot was serving the Lord because his prayer was heard. All right, and the Lord did something about it.
This 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 6. 2 Peter 2 and 6. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after should live ungodly. So the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah is an example that if you live your life like these people, you're going to get the same destruction as these people. So Babylon the Great, they know what they invested into. they've invested into death and destruction because they lived their life like the Sodomites, right? But they still in a pride believe that nothing can happen to them. Verse 8, 2 Peter 2 and 8. For that righteous man dwelling among them and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. So the deeds were unlawful because the law was there during the time. And Lot was vexed. He was irritated, mad, man. Right? What did he see? The same things that you see now. Men holding hands with man, men up there with crop tops on and damn short shorts, women laying down with women. And what did he hear? Right? The pleasure that came with sleep at night, man. Right? Wicked conversations, you know? And he was vexed. So he started calling upon Yahweh Shema Bashah. They would destroy this place, man. So the Lord heard his prayer and sent angels down and said, look, hey, we're going to destroy this place. So those prayers avail, man. The Lord said, Elias prayed fervently to the Lord, paraphrasing in James the 5th chapter, yet it might not rain, and it rained not for 3 years and 6 months. So when you praying constantly, the Lord going to reward you and give you what you ask for, man. So keep praying that the Lord destroy this place, man. Right? Every brother that's vexed about Sodom and Gomorrah, about Babylon the Great, Gay Pride Month, Minneapolis, Tel Aviv, keep calling upon the Lord to destroy this place, and the Lord going to hear you. You know?
All right. This is the book of Luke, chapter 18 and verse 7. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? Right? So, right, if you want this truth, you're going to be crying day and night, man. Right? All this damn homosexuality, all of these damn new laws they passing, right? And I believe we was going into that a couple weeks ago, man. They done what was that? They made it okay to be a damn pedophile now.
Yep.
Right? Hey, man. Hey, we crying out, man, because these are going against the laws of God. Right? I got a precept. It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 6. When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities. Right? That's talking about Lot. Those 5 cities, the brother just brought it out, man, of whose wickedness, even to this day, the wasteland that smoketh for a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness, and standing pillar of salt is a monument of the unbelieving soul. For regarding not wisdom, they got not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good, but also left behind them the world a memorial of their foolishness, so that in the things wherein they offended, they could not so much as be hid. So you can't hide these things, man. The Lord is beholding all things, man. The Lord beholding a homosexual, damn in the garage that snuck that damn dude in. The Lord is beholding that brother that's on the down low. The Lord beholds all the wickedness and going to bring every act into judgment, like you read about Ecclesiastes, man, 12 and 14.
Come. That's why let me go to Revelation, the 8th chapter. It speaks about the prayers of the saints ascended up to heaven, right? Never think that your prayers that you're dealing with, rather, it could be at your workplace, oppression. It can be what you see befalling us as a nation in captivity. Never think that your prayers are just taken as a thing for naught. All of these prayers are being stocked up, man, in the day of the Lord. And that's going to be the catalyst for the destruction of America, right? I'll tell you that, and these other wicked nations, right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 8 and 1, right? Revelation chapter 8 and 1. It reads, and when he had opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of a half an hour. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before the Most High, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar, which is before the throne. You see that? So all of the prayers of the saints are being recorded and stored in the 3rd heaven. All right. So you brothers that's vexed about Babylon the Great and the wicked ways of the world, they keep crying out to the Most High. Because the same thing where the Lord had those angels recording what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah, they're doing it right now. Right? Let me get Amos real quick. 9. Right, let's get that in Amos chapter 9 and 8. About the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. Right? This is the book of Amos, the 9th chapter and the 8th verse. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord. So the eyes of the Lord are the angels, right? And they're in your city, whether you're in Seattle, or rather you in Manhattan, or rather you in Miami. It don't matter. The angels are going to and fro through Babylon the Great, man. Right? All eyes are on this place, man. This is the hot spot in the mecca of sin, you know? So the same account was in Luke, it's like in Genesis chapter 19 when the eyes were upon Sodom, the angels. And you might bump into somebody, it might be an angel sent down to record the atrocities done in Babylon the Great.
Mm-hmm.
You know? We can go back to that in Genesis chapter 19.
A quick precept in Job 36 and 15. He delivered the poor in his affliction and openeth their ears in oppression. So that's what's happening now. The Lord, Salakia, he about to deliver Abram. Or Salakia a lot. You know?
That's right.
And he might not have been oppressed, but seeing all that wickedness, you feel, it kind of weigh down in your spirit. You get vexed, as we always say. You know?
And there's nothing wrong with being vexed. If you're vexed in Babylon the Great, you're a wise man, right? That's a good thing. Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart. Now, if you're not vexed, then you got to kind of ask yourself, are you in the right spirit?
Yeah.
You see these Christian, when you go to these Christian churches, oh, yeah, I'm in the spirit. I feel blessed. Well, what spirit are you in? Because they're not vexed. You got a Sodomite doing praise dance before worship service, talking about I'm in a spirit, right? The Lord not dealing with that, man. Right? You should be vexed about that. Right? You should be vexed about the wickedness going on in our damn communities. Well, when I say communities, I mean our nation, man. You know?
I got a precept. Right?
Con.
The book, the second Ezra, chapter 14, and I'm gonna start at verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such as them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, and cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste to flee from these times. So you gotta haste to flee from these times, man. Get away, right? Get away from this world, right? These laws that they pushing, right? All this homosexuality, man. Everything is just waxing worse and worse. Like as you read that chapter, right? Everything is just waxing worse and worse. If we was here, God forbid we not, another 10 years, ain't no telling what this land will look like. How many laws would be on bestiality? You might see a damn horse in a damn car in the back of the pickup truck, and they be married to them, and that'd be an okay everyday thing. Just like when you see homosexuality, that's starting to be normal, so called, right? And you can't stare, right? These things are starting to be accepted in the society, man. Right? Ain't no telling in 10 years if we still here, Lord forbid we not, what the hell we gonna see?
Yeah, you might see, boy, like a horse marrying a man. You know, you go to the mall, you might see a little baby, kind of making out with a grown man, and you can't say nothing about it. You gotta you might take a picture. People gonna be taking pictures, and when you guys start dating, the baby can't really say much. The grown man, he kind of speak for the baby, talking about he's shy. Like we've been going into it for 5 years now, right? So these are the things that that are coming to Babylon are great.
Hey, well, we seen a dude, he walked by, we asked him, that's your wife, right? He said, yeah. He didn't hesitate. He didn't pause. He didn't try to rebuke it. He said, yes.
Who?
We asked him if that's your wife. Well, it was an Edomite walking his dog. Nobody else, just his dog. We asked him if that's your wife. Is that your wife, right? He said, yes.
See
That happened
that?
like 3 times. He said, huh? Yeah. And he got
See that?
excited. And the dog kind of looked, all dog was looking jammed up. He was getting jammed up,
That's right.
jammed back. This Job 35:8. Thy wickedness may hurt a man as thou art, and thy righteousness may profit the son of man. By reason of the multitude of oppressions, they make the oppressed to cry. They cry out by reason of the arm of the mighty. So all the oppression that we're going through, all we can really do is cry out to the Heavenly Father that we get delivered. It's the only thing that can deliver us. Not your own guns, not your own, might. If that was the case, Lot would have delivered himself, and kind of, turned that city around. But only the
Right.
Lord, can do all of that. Only He can really, send out the true judgment.
That's right. This is the book of Luke, chapter 17, and I'll read verse. Let's see, Luke chapter 17 and 26. Actually, I'll get straight to the point. This is Luke chapter 17 and 28. Likewise, also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. So we often talk about the days of Noah, but you also have the days of Lot. You living in the days of Lot, because the days of Lot are what you see now. You see people, it says they did eat and drink. You got these people going to these 5-star restaurants. You got people going out with their families, people spending time and getting married and loving one another, going to nightclubs and drinking and indulging in the pleasures of this society. I believe that word we looked up is hedonism. Babylon the Great, they thrive on hedonism. If you don't know what hedonism is, we're gonna pull it up real quick, man. All right, this is what they get down on. All right, let me pull this up real quick. Bear with me. All right, this is one of the main philosophies of Babylon the Great. All right, bear with us. We're gonna pull this up. All right, this is your new religion. Right, hedonism, the pursuit of pleasure, sensual self-indulgence, and that's what this place is about, man. It's about trying to get the next big high. People that smoke weed, I want to try this strand, or I want to do this. Well, let's do vapes, or let's do this oil, right? Or let's try crack, or let's go to the strip club. Let's get drunk, right? This is hedonism, the pursuit of pleasure, sensual indulgence, right? It says hedonism is a school of thought that argues seeking pleasure and avoiding suffering are the only components of well-being. You see that? That's the only way of life, is getting down and fulfilling what makes you feel good, right? Which shows you it's an effeminate spirit in this kingdom, right? All about making you and man feel good. Right, let me finish this. Luke chapter 17 and 29. Right, Luke chapter 17 and 29. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Right? And that's how it's going to be when the elect. The same day or the exact same hour that the elect get beamed up out of Babylon, fire and brimstone is going to rain upon them all. That's written in Revelation chapter 11. All right. It reads, and that day he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Right. And I'll save the rest of that account, as we go through the rest of Genesis 19. But the point is, you're living in the days of Lot, man. Right. While homosexuality is present, man. We got something else. We'll go back to Genesis chapter 19.
Yeah, we can go back to Genesis.
Let's read 13 again.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 13. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord. And
Right.
the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get. Slack up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
See that? And that's
And
how it
that's
is with
what's
us, man.
mhm.
That's what we do. We tell our people, arise. Or like in Micah 2:10, arise and depart, for this is not your rest. We tell our people, get the hell out of Babylon the Great. Get out of your Christianity. Get out of your philosophies. Get out of your damn Islam, man. Try to be a damn Muslim. The Lord about to destroy this place. But we're seen like somebody that's mocked, right? Man, the Lord ain't going to destroy this place, man. I've been eating pork my whole life. Ain't nothing happened to me, man. Man, even my grandmother been saying that in her time. You see that? That same madness, man. Right? So we can go on.
Verse 15. And when the morning rose, then the angels hasted Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
Right?
And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth and set him without the city.
Right. And don't be like Lot. And the Lord tell you to get out and you linger. What does the word linger mean? Meaning you take your time. Lot sitting up there. Guess I'll grab my stuff. The Lord about to destroy this place, and Lot is taking his time. He's lingering around. Jake, you doing that, and it's truth, man. You still lingering into your damn religion. You still kind of lingering around into being a whoremonger, right? You women, you still kind of lingering around wearing pants, right? Smoking weed and black and milds, right? You can't linger in this place, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to Sirach chapter 13. A lot of people thought Lot was the first. Hey, no, Lot was lingering, man. But the Lord had mercy on him. That don't mean the Lord gonna have mercy on every one of us, man. If you lingering, you might get destroyed. Right? Let me get that in Sirach 13:1 about what happens when you linger and deal and hang around the wicked, man. Right? Ecclesiasticus chapter 13:1. He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him. So if you have fellowship and you lingering and hanging around the Sodomites, you know, something not right in your spirit, man. Because if I'm in prison and you tell me, hey, look, get out of prison, I'm not taking my time. I'm not making my bed. Let me make my bed first, right? Let me clean up a little bit. I'm getting the hell out of there in haste. But if your mind is a little bit attached to things, even on a small level, you may linger. You may take your time, right? So, you know, you got to kind of know what was going on with Lot in this situation in Sodom. He lingered. We'll read about his woman looking back. His sons didn't mock him. He sat in the gate. There was a lot going on in this thing, man.
Got a precept.
Come.
It's Proverbs 26:13. The slothful man said, it's like if the slothful man said, there is a lion in the way, a lion is in the streets. Right? In other words, he might say, yeah, it's a lion in the street, but he not moving. He not getting up and going. He just saying it's a lion, it's a lion. Look, you gotta be moving. All right.
Yeah.
You don't got time to keep pointing out, oh, that's a lion. Look at that. Look at that lion. You gotta get going.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or it might not even be a lion in the streets, man. If you slothful, you might just be saying that because you don't want to get up and get work done.
Right,
Yeah.
excuses.
Yeah, you got a lot of lazy people. You're attached to excuses too. You know. So I want to get this quick precept. All right, let's go to Sirach 5:4. Let's get the classic about make no tearing to turn to the Lord, man. So do not be like Lot in the point where Lot was lingering around, hanging around, still hanging around them old friends, hanging around that old damn girlfriend that you was cool with in high school. She's still going out to the club Saturday night, and after the Sabbath, you might go. Hey, the Lord might destroy you, man. Right? You still hanging around Rel, Tony, and Devon, man. You know? and they in a car hot boxing, and they see you going to camp with your friends on. You say, look, I'll be back later. You get in the car and you start smoking with them, man. You can't linger around. Sirach chapter 5 and 4, straight to the point. Make no Slakia. That's 7. I want 7. Make no tearing to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of. You see that? So you got to escape and keep the commandments in haste. Psalms chapter 119 and 60. I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments. Right? So you got to hurry up, man. When the Lord call your number, make haste to get on board, man, or you're going to miss this train.
It's the book of Romans chapter 16 and verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. Right? So like the brothers is bringing out, man, you can't be intertwined with all of these different philosophies, these people, right? You can't be a righteous man sitting in a damn field of folly, man, and foolishness. You the only one in the truth, right? You at some event and you the only one in the truth there. You're gonna feel like an outcast, so-called black sheep. You're gonna feel like you don't need to be there, man, because you're supposed to be among the spirits, right, that know the Lord, man. As you even feel it in your spirit, it's not right. You shouldn't even be around this, right? If all hell broke loose and damn, I was put in a situation I wouldn't feel right. I would feel like I gotta get the hell up out of here, man. My spirit don't feel right. These demons, they feel good when they commit sin. Wickedness, violence, murder, thievery, they get off on that, right? They thrill on that. And we thrill on righteous things, man. Teaching, right? Leading the nation, going hard in the spirit, fasting. All of these things make our spirit right. You can't be lingering around, because what's going to happen? You're going to get sifted out. People going to start whispering in your ear. Next thing you know, man, hey, man, you done left the truth. And we done known brothers physically, man, that then got damn sifted out of this thing, man. Right? They was kind of lingering around weed heads. Next thing you know, they growing weed, man. And that's on a physical account. So you can't linger around all of these damn different doctrines, lingering around these different men, and lingering around these different cities, man. It's only a matter of time.
That's right. This Jeremiah chapter 9 and 18. Slacky, that's not what I want. I just had it and lost it. I have to find it's like I have to find it again. Bear with me. This is the book of Jeremiah. I just had it. Chapter 9 and it's like 17 and 16. That's what I want. Jeremiah chapter 17 and 16. As for me, I have not hastened from being a pastor to follow thee. Neither have I desired the woeful day, thou knowest. That which came out of my lips was right before thee. So Jeremiah hastened to do the work, man. Right? To be a pastor, to lead the sheep, to go out there and do the work, to prophesy before the children of Israel in a siege and in the captivity, and even after that, man. Right? So you got to haste to be a pastor. Is it not written in Song of Solomon, the first chapter, draw me and we will run after thee? Right? So if the Lord draw you and pull you out the grave, you got to run after the Lord, man. Right? Wholeheartedly, till you out of breath, man. You running after the Lord, right? Oh, okay, the Lord want me to do this. Let me run and do that. The Lord want me to do this. I want me to do that. Right? Let me get this precept. All right. This Judith, real quick. All right, let me get this other quick precept. This is the book of Judith, chapter 12 and 14. Right? Judith 12 and 14. Then said Judith unto him, who am I now that I should gainsay my Lord? Surely whatsoever pleaseth him, I will do speedily, and it should be my joy until the day of my death. So you got to have that same mind frame of Judith, man. Whatever the Lord tell you, you do it speedily, and that's until the day of your death. Right? That's women for their husband, but remember, our husband is Yahweh Shai too. You know, and a good wife is always submissive to her husband. Right? No matter how she feel about it, if her husband is in righteousness, she's always going to be submissive. And Judah said, I'm gonna do it speedily too. We got to submit ourselves to the Lord, man.
Another precept on that is Matthew 4 and 19. And he said unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. They ain't ask no questions. They ain't say what's going on, who are you, right? What time, when we gonna go back home, right? Who we going with? Are we going to the east or west? They just followed immediately. They dropped everything down. They followed the Lord. No questions. So when the Lord say duck, you can't be like, well, what's coming? What's going on? Right? Is it a missile? Is it a doctrine? Hey, you duck, man, or you get low. Whatever you do, you follow the Lord. Whatever the scriptures say, man, you got to straightway do it like the apostles.
That's right. That's
It's,
right.
that's why when Esau at work tell you to do something, you do it without hesitation. You say,
Yeah.
yes, sir, yes, boss. You get to stepping, right? Because you fear Esau and you fear man, and you weak for that. But you really should be fearing the Heavenly Father. Because this is Sirach 20, that's like in 19 or 21. It reminded me of the situation. If a servant say to his master, I will not do as it pleaseth thee, though afterward he do it, he angereth him that nourisheth him. It took too long. When the Lord tell you to do something, you got to hurry up and do it,
Right.
right? Don't wait until after the fact, and then you try to make things right. No, you should have did it the first time. And we see the same type of situation when we were younger, and our parents tell us to do something, and we take our damn day, and then we do it. Our parents still upset because you're not making haste.
That's right. That's right. And we're reading about, and we're going into this because it says the Lord. Let's read that again in Genesis chapter 19, Baba Kishar, about Lot.
It's Genesis chapter 19. We got verse 15. It's like 16. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city.
You see that? Now, again, we don't know why Lot was lingering, right? He could have been a little bit reluctant, right? There's no telling what he had going on. Maybe he didn't want to really lose that position. Sometimes that quick thought pop in your head, man. Well, you might want to stay, but you got to get the hell out, man. The Lord about to destroy this place, right? Like we was going to earlier. Hey, you got to invest. You can't invest in temporary pleasure, man. You got to invest in long-term success with the Most High, man. Stand and Sodom is temporary, man. That place is about to be destroyed, right? You can't be carnal in this thing, right? The Lord said Moses was willing to suffer with the people of God rather to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. That's Hebrews 11, right? 22 through 25. So we can go on.
And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
And now, why does it say, look not behind thee? Right? Because the angels knew about the mind of Lot. He was already lingering, right? They already know his woman. She was lingering too. He might have been lingering because she was lingering. You know, everything out of order. His son's mocking. He at the gate. His daughters don't know what's going on. You know, all hell breaking loose in Lot's household, man. You know, so he told him, don't look back, because looking back represents you looking back at your ways that you used to be prior to coming into the truth. A lot of brothers and women, you come into this truth and you begin to miss out and have them feelings, and you're longing for those feelings you had of the world, man. Oh man, when I used to get drunk, man, that was such an escape. Yeah, I remember riding down in the streets with my old friends late at night doing A, B, and C, getting high. Yeah, I remember doing. And then you kind of start thinking, man, right? That's you looking back. The Lord not dealing with a man looking back. Right? I got a quick precept real quick. This Luke chapter 9 and 62. Right? This is the book of St. Luke, chapter 9 and 62. And Yahweh Shah said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God. Lord, not dealing with a brother like that. If you have a business, let's say you do farming, and you got a plantation or farmland, you got workers, they got to get up at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning. You want workers that want to come out early and immediately get to work. You don't want that brother coming out and he kind of looking back at the house, looking at his bed, and he looking at a picture of his comforters, and you can't, his mind not focused, man. Right? You want a brother that's ready to do the work and keep plowing and going forward. Right? Don't be the brother remembering who you was back in the world, man. Pulling up the damn yearbook. Yeah, I remember Keisha. Yeah, I always had a crush on her. There go her number. Let me call her. Right? Yeah, me and Tony. Yeah, he was on the basketball team. Remember he beat up Andre. Right? I know he do stay down the street. Let me see what he doing. Right? You got a yard down.
And now you turn into a necromancer because you bringing up that old man. You miss that old man. You love him, right? And that's how you get in trouble at work. You start thinking and reminiscing. Brother, you at work, it's no time to be thinking and reminiscing. You
Right.
gotta, pay attention and focus. When you're at work working at Esau and really in the truth, what I'm saying, right? You start thinking, oh yeah. And that's how you get jammed up, you get hurt, you hurt yourself, you forget what you was doing. You forget what you was doing, then you're going to do something else. Because now you forgot where you at. You're too busy bringing up that old man.
That's right.
And another thing, man, the Lord, he bring a lot of Jake into this truth on a young age, man. Right? So you face with a lot more temptation at that younger age because you got a longer road to endure. And the Lord brings some people in right at 16, right? Sometimes, hey, you may be born into this thing. Your parents in this truth, right? You may come in at 20-something years old. That's a lot of temptation when all your so-called peers is out getting drunk, having sex, smoking weed, right? Doing all things of evilness, man. You sitting there just like, damn, right? I may not have the brethren, the support system. I may not have a wife at the time. Hey, these are the things you're gonna have to bear on your shoulders, man, and bear that cross, right? Don't look back, man. There ain't nothing back there, man. There ain't nothing back there but a bunch of junkies, right? That's what Jake really is, man. Sipping weed, lean, pig. Hey, just some bunch of damn junkies with some expensive clothes on, man, right? And then a bunch of whores, right? You're gonna want a wife that's gonna take care of you and love you. You're gonna want to be around brothers that truly love you, man. That's not gonna damn video chat you when you damn passed out, put you on the internet. Man, ain't nothing in the world, man. What the hell are you really missing, man? Right? Can't nothing fulfill you like this truth and the spirit in you. Right? When the spirit in you, whether you teaching or reading, you feel it, and that's better than anything that you could ever possibly get in the world.
And it's true because now they losing wisdom because they don't understand that the stuff that they was doing was foolishness, right? Like, hey, Jake be passed out, he doing stuff to him. It was a story where Jake, he passed out. He woke up with a carrot up his rump. And, and that was his best friend. He did that.
Yeah,
So
madness, man.
You shouldn't miss that type of stuff. You got to realize that stuff was more harmful to you than good.
That's why I got the precept. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. And the brother put Ecclesiastes 7 and 10. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. So a lot of brothers, you thinking at the end of your old man, that old man dying, that was so detrimental to you. That's something that you can't live without, right? The Lord said it's better to end that thing, man. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, man. All right. I'm gonna jump down to verse 10. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? Why would you say that the former days are better than these? For thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. Meaning your mind not right. If a brother say that, and it's a perfect precept that the brother pulled, that the former days are better than these, days of you getting high, days of you getting drunk, days of you living in the world, days of you being a whoremonger. If you say that those days are better than these, being in the truth, knowing the Most High, knowing Yahweh Shai, keeping the commandments, you know about the chariots, you can do the breakdowns, go to the parables, you know what love of your nation is, how to be a hey, you're not wisely thinking about that situation, man. Right? That's what the Lord said. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. You know? So that's madness, man. To be sitting there reminiscing about things of the world. And I called it, but I'm going to go to the Hebrews 11. All right? I kind of paraphrased it. But let's read about Moses, man. Right? That looking back spirit. Hey, Philippians, the 3rd chapter, tell you about that, man. All right? This Hebrews chapter 11, and I'll read 23. I'll start at 23. Hebrews chapter 11 and 23. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Hey, I refuse to be called a nigger, man, in the world. Right? I refuse to be called a black man, African American. Any title that's not being an Israelite, right? I refuse to be called that. But the thing is, for brothers that don't refuse to be called that, there's power and benefits and privileges associated with being the son of Pharaoh's daughter, or being a nigga in the world, or being somebody of renown of the world. There's power that comes with that and influence, and people don't want to deny that. People don't want to let them things go, man. Right? Like in the book I was talking about in the book of Maccabees, you had certain women that didn't want to circumcise their children, and they were willing to get put to death and go through all manner of hell instead of allowing their children to, instead of circumcising their children, they was willing to go through hell, right? And it's kind of like that now. You got people that don't want to keep the law. You got people that don't want to name their sons and daughters with Hebrew names. You got brothers and sisters in the truth. I don't want to name my son a Hebrew daughter, a Hebrew name, right? They might get looked at crazy. Nobody give a damn, man. Right? I want to call him what's an Edom? Ryder. That's an Edomite name. Ryder, Brock. I don't want to call him a damn Hebrew name, right? Because the world may look at him crazy. That's you looking back, man. Give a damn about what they think about you, man. I don't want to go out with my fringes out. I don't want to grow my beard out. Let me read on. Hebrews 11 and 25. Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Because Moses had it all in Egypt. There's no actual account of the gold. He might have been counting gold bars. He might have had a lot of women, He might have had the fly chariot, the best garments. He said, I'd rather suffer with my people than to enjoy that's temporary. Verse 26, Hebrews 11 and 26. Esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. We had respect unto the recompense of the reward. So he said, it's like it's suffering affliction and reproach is a true treasure. That's more valuable than the monetary riches, man. A lot of jakes don't look at it like that. Yeah, I'm suffering. I'm going through hell. The Lord said those are true riches. Those are your true treasures. And those things hold a lot more value than temporary physical treasure, right? Verse 27. By faith, he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, but he endured as seeing him that is invisible. So, Moses went hard, man. And you got to forsake Egypt.
I got a precept. It's 2 Peter, chapter 2, right? And I'm going to start at verse 19. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption. For of whom a man is overcome, the same is he brought into bondage. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior, right, Hamashiach Yahushai, they are again entangled and overcome, the latter is worse with them than the beginning, right? So you may have just been a drug dealer in the world, then you came into the truth, right? Then you left the truth. Now you a thief, a murderer, and a homosexual, right? You used to be in the world. You used to just get off and breaking into cars. Now, next thing you know, you're trying to break into damn buildings and banks, man, right? Hey, the Lord is going to turn that demon up sevenfold, right? You was in the world, you used to just chase women. Now you got workout demons, right? Now you just out there, man. Just doing all manner of mischief and evil, man. Ain't no telling what the Lord will turn you up to do, man. It's not a funny
Mhm.
matter. It's not a laughing matter. This ain't a joke, man. Right? When you look back, ain't no telling what you're gonna see, right? And a good point on a good point on looking back, right? Let's get it. Let me get a quick precept. A good point. If you look back, what's gonna happen? Right? It's the book of Second Corinthians, right? 11 and verse 13. For as such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves, right? Right? Into apostles of Hamashiach, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So when you look back, you may see everything you've ever wanted. And the Lord could open your eye. He could put you in a trance when you look back. And that word is kind of looking good, right? You see things you may have missed out on. Now that woman
Mhm.
you always wanted, now she's single. She wants you, right? That damn job, working at God knows what, right? Just opened up a new slot, right? Hey, that new gang you always wanted to be into, and now they want the recruited member. And when you look back, Satan is going to transform himself into an angel of light, things that you can see, right? That may be looking good to the eyes, money, right? You may have damn a lottery ticket demon on you, right? I've been dreaming of 454 over and over, and now I must play these numbers. Hey, don't look back, because Satan is going to glorify, right? Paint up this picture, right? And have you to seek after these things when it's really the spiritual demon Satan, man. Next thing you know, you're gonna get entangled therein, and the worst, right, is damn worse than the beginning, man. You know.
All right.
That's
All
why I
right.
say in the book of Acts, chapter 14, verse 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God. So not only do we have to continue in the faith, but also you got to remember it's through much tribulation. That's the only way to enter the kingdom, right? If you look back, it's easy, right? It's too easy, right? You can't. It didn't say it's going to be an easy lifestyle to get into the kingdom, right? It's going to be through much tribulation, right? So you got to drink of that cup, and that cup is bitter, right?
All right.
That's
And
like when you at a party. I don't want to use that analogy. But you got it.
what the Lord likened this truth unto a race, right? In Ecclesiastes chapter 9, right? The race is not to the swift. So, you look at these guys run a race at the so-called Olympics or, track meet or whatever the case may be. They don't look back, right? You see Usain Bolt, he running and he died, he going out. He's not checking back and seeing who's behind him, man. Hey, this thing is behind you already. It's gone, right? If you look back, it's going to slow you down. And those things, not only because these things work twofold, not only is it going to slow you down, but those things are going to catch up with you, right? And sometimes it may overwhelm you, man, and consume you, right? So you start looking back into the crowd, you start looking back at your family in the world, or whatever the case may be, and you're gonna come in last place in this thing, man, right? This Philippians chapter 3 and 13, right? This is the book of Philippians chapter 3 and 13. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. So you got to forget that you might have been an up and coming rapper. You might have been a woman, you might have been getting a lot of attention from men of the world. You might have been a guy, you might have been an athlete coming up in this thing, man. You might have had a business plan, right? You might have had an idea to be the next top Forbes 500 CEO, whatever the case may be, right? You got to forget that stuff. It reads, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Most High, Hamashiach Yahushua. And he's using the analogy of a race, right? When you press toward the mark, you in overdrive mode. That's when you see people kind of lean into the finish line or extend their chest in, man, because he knows the finish line is at hand, right? Hey, the finish line is at hand. Oh, hell about to break loose, man. When we say that, that's a fact. The Lord mean it, man, like a thief in the night. and you got to be pressing toward the mark. You know, you got them races, man. They got to go around that final lap. Once they go around that final lap, hey, they in overdrive mode. They don't go to the pit stop anymore, man. Right? Hey, that's old news. If they was doing 140, now they doing 160, and they pressing toward the mark. Right? Verse 15. Philippians 3 and 15. Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. So if you perfect, if you want to be perfect, have the same mind as Paul. And if anything ye be otherwise minded, the Most High shall reveal even this unto you. I mean, if you was thinking about the world, now the Lord checked you through the Apostle Paul on what your mentality should be pursuing the kingdom. You know, brother, that's something. And that's why Lot was lingering. All right. So we back at it, Genesis chapter 19. And let's read 17.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 17. And it came to pass when they had
You
brought them.
gotta read up a little bit.
It's Genesis chapter 19, verse 17. And it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad that he said, Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain, escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
Right.
And Lot said unto them, O not so, my Lord.
You see that? Hey, oh, not so, my Lord, man. Right? Go on.
Behold, behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast shewed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die.
And that's a lack of faith too, when you look at it.
Yep.
Because the Lord just set him outside the city with angels and delivered him from destruction. Now now he don't know what's going to happen. He now he don't know if he's going to die. You know, you gotta believe, man. Right? The Lord
Yep.
deliver you out of the frying pan. Believe He's going to deliver you out the fire. Right? You gotta have that mentality, man.
Israel had the same mentality Lot had when they left Egypt.
Right.
They seen a miracle, they got delivered, right? And then said, we about to die. I think we might die.
Right.
We don't got no cucumbers, no garlic, no none of that stuff. We
Right.
about to die.
And this Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So when you read these accounts, there's a reason that why brothers should read and why you should study. You should read and study simply for the fact of applying what your forefathers did that was righteous in the eyes of the Lord, and what your forefathers did that was wicked in the eyes of the Lord. You take the attributes of what your forefathers did that was righteous, you apply it to your life. You examine what your forefathers did that was off, and you apply it to your life. As we read about Lot lingering and him sitting at the gate and his sons not believing him, you have to look at this and apply that the scriptures to how you move it in this truth, man. So when we break it down and we're going through it, looking back and going through it and going into how Lot is still praying that the Most High have mercy on him, even though he or praying that he saying he might get destroyed after he got delivered. You got to look at that, man, and apply it to your life, right? And apply it about for the things to come. Because when Jacob's trouble kick off, and the Lord may deliver you from one event, and you still got to have faith and believe the Lord going to deliver you from the next event, right? So we can go on.
Verse 20. Behold now.
So like, let me get one quick precept. That's what the Most High said in Luke chapter 18 and 17. 18 and 7. It says, I believe you read this already, all right, but I want to get a point on the latter precept. Luke 18 and 7. And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear along with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily, like the Lord avenged Lot speedily, right? Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? Because all hell is going to be breaking loose, And the Lord is going to deliver you, but it's going to get so bad where it's going to seem as though man has no faith. The Lord going to be delivering man from famine, then man, well, I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to be able to. And you might have to cross a damn FEMA camp to get somewhere, man. I don't know, the guards right there, man. You know, I don't know if we should go. And you might have to just go, man. You know, you got to have faith that the Lord is still with you know, in every situation that you in.
Yeah.
Even if the Lord take you out of like, even if the Lord take you out of a bad situation and put you in a worse situation, you still got to believe that the Most High is with you. You know, we can go on.
Let me get this precept real quick.
John.
Reading this out a lot, but that's okay. All right. It's Job 15. Salakia.
John.
Though he slay me, or is it 13 now?
That's 13 and 15.
God. Well, Job 13 and 15. Though he slay me, yet I will trust in him, but I will maintain my own ways before him. No matter what situation, you got to keep moving. You got to keep having the faith. You got to just endure. You got to just do it. All right. Now, this isn't really the time to be, you know, you got to just go. Just go, you know.
All right. Oh, go ahead. You got a precept?
No. I was going to read
this Psalms chapter 34 and 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. Straight like that. Right? So if you righteous, you're going to get many afflictions, but the Lord is going to deliver you from every single one. Right? If you believe in the Most High, if you're diligent and following, thus said the Lord, by keeping the commandments through faith. You know? So we can go on.
Sirach said I was in many afflictions basically, but I was delivered out of them.
Yeah. Let me get that. That's 51. Right? Let me get that real quick. This Sirach chapter 51, and I'll start at 3. Right? I believe that's the one. Sirach chapter 51 and 3. And has delivered me according to the multitude of thy mercies and greatness of thy name, from the teeth of them that were ready to devour me, and out of the such as sought after my life, and from the manifold afflictions which I had, from the choking of fire on every side, and from the midst of the fire which I can do not. Right? And this is kind of a foreshadowing of the deliverance from Jacob's trouble too, man. When you look at it. From the depth of the belly of hell, from an unclean tongue, and from lying words, you know. And when you read this account, pretty much he prayed to the Most High, and the Most High delivered him.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 34 and verse 11. When I travailed, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. I was oft times in danger of death, yet I was delivered because of these things. The spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them.
Right? That's the one I wanted.
Thought, you know what I'm saying? Hey, he said their hope is in them that feareth them, man. So if you fear the Lord, and that you're gonna have that hope, you're gonna be looking. You ain't gonna be confounded, right? Or forsaken, or you're not gonna be in the world, you're not gonna be rubbing your hands together like damn, putting your trust in a fire. Ain't nothing is that gonna be your hope but the Lord, man. Right? And he said, I'm gonna touch on real fast. He said, when I have traveled, I saw many things, and we go many places, man. Right? We may go to Philly, right? We may go right to ATL. We may go to the different Pittsburgh, right? And the various places throughout the earth. You're gonna see many things, many doctrines, and many people, right? It says, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. I was oft times in danger of death. Hey, people try to kill us, man. Right, shooting at us, brothers. Then damn, people try to stab us, fight us, tumults, right? Damn, Edomites everywhere, right? People trying to spit on the posters. It's a lot of things, right? For preaching his word, man. Right? It says, yet I was delivered because of these things. And he about to tell you why he was delivered. Because of what? Right? Not because he was tall as hell, right? Not because he was strong, not because he do his sit-ups every morning, right? The spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, right? And if you fear the Lord, you fear in the judgments and you keep in the commandments. For their hope is in him that saveth them. Meaning out of everything, all you got to do is look up, man. You got to hope that the Lord is going to save you through everything. That's deep.
And it's the classic. This is Sirach chapter 2, and I'll read 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. You see that? The Lord saves in time of affliction. Man, there's so many accounts that we can go into about our forefathers being delivered. We'll be going for 3 more hours, man.
Oh,
You know, time will fail us to speak about Daniel and the 3 holy children and Abraham and Lot and Judith and the Maccabees and all of these brothers, man. Hebrews 11 chapter tell you that. You know? Hey, David said, though a host shall compass me about, and this will I be confident. Right? And that's he said, though an army stand around me. Let me get that real quick, Lucky. Right? He said, though an army stand about me, and this I will be confident. Right? This Psalms chapter 27 and 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, and this will I be confident. So you're going to be, the word confident literally means with faith. Con meaning with, that fident goes back to fidelio, which means faith. So confident is having faith, right? And you got to believe that the Most High is with you, man. And now is the time to be praying for faith, to be fasting for faith. Stop fasting for that damn promotion, man. Right? Or I don't know, man. I want to be the CEO, right? I want to take over, right? I want to be the one that signed the people in that work. Hey, look, hey, you better be fasting for faith, because that's what's going to get you out of the days coming on the earth, man. You're going to have your fringes on. You're already going to know the commandments. What about your faith?
Yep. Jake fasting debate another brother. Jake fasting no more precepts than the other brother. To set up his mitri better. You know, have his locks longer than his. That's what Jake fasts for.
Get darker.
Yeah, you got a green shirt. He fasting that he'd get a even better green shirt. It's weird stuff.
That's vain.
fasting for more wives.
Yeah, that is vain.
You want to grow a few inches.
See that?
Fasting you Daniel back on the earth.
Yeah, and you can't even change that.
His father.
Yeah. So we back at it. Genesis chapter 19 and 20.
This is Genesis chapter 19, verse 20. Behold, now the city is near to flee unto, and it is little one. It's like it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one, and my soul shall live?
Right.
And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city, for the which thou hast spoken. Verse 22. Right. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore, the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord of heaven.
And that's spiritual. Because this destruction, the wickedness happened at evening. It happened at night. But when the sun rose, the destruction came. Right? And that's how it's going to be on this side of the world. That's what the Lord said, as in the days of Lot. Right? Because you in the time of darkness, in the time of the evening time, but when the sun arises, it's symbolic for the light of salvation, right? For deliverance. That's why when the sun arose, the destruction came. Right? The Lord speaks about the day star in the book of Second Peter. Right? I got a quick precept in the book of Malachi. Right? It's all spiritual. This thing happened, but remember, this thing is written for your learning too. All right, let's go to the book of Malachi, and I'll read chapter 3. And I believe I want to know, Slaki, Malachi chapter 2. Brother had a precept, I have to find this. All right, bear with me. I thought I had it. Slaki, I believe it's Malachi 4 and 2. This Malachi chapter 4 and 2. But unto you that fear my name shall the sun, now it's spelled S-U-N, right? But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of righteousness arise with healing in his wings, right? You're going to be healed of your disease, your blindness, your spiritual demons on you, whatever ailments you're dealing with. As this day progresses from the evening to the morning on a spiritual level, when the sun arises, symbolic for the light of the world, which is Yahweh Shah, pursuant to John 8 and 12, healing is going to come. You understand? And the wings of the Lord, man. It says, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. You see that? So the glory of the Lord and deliverance is compared to the sun. All right. So we can you have something y'all done? You said Baruch.
I'm in Proverbs 4 and 18. But the path of the just is as a shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. All right. So that Sodom and Gomorrah was complete darkness. Right. But for Lot, you know, hey, the path of the just is like it. The path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more into the perfect day.
This First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 4. Right? First Thessalonians 5 and 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light. So if we the children of the light, we're going to thrive when the sun is up, man. When the sun arises, that's when we get our power, because we're the children of the light. The children of light cannot thrive in a dark society, man. You can be a light in the world, but you'll thrive when the sun is arisen, right? And that's spiritual. It says, we are not of the night nor of darkness. Hey, the people of Sodom, it happened at the nighttime. They were of darkness. That's what they want to rape them at in the evening time, right? Right? That's why all hell was breaking loose when the sun was down. Verse 6, therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. You see that? So you got to be like Lot, man. Right? When he escaped, and the same way that sun rose and destruction came, it's the same way it's going to happen when Yahweh Shah returns and the destruction comes. You know? So we got to go back to Genesis 19, unless a brother had a precept. All right. Let's go back to it. Get this Genesis chapter 19, and let's read 23 again.
Genesis 19 and 23. The sun was risen upon the earth when the Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven.
Right? And that came from via, let's go to Isaiah chapter 13. Did the Lord have a hand up there? He's throwing fire and brimstone down, and like Zeus. That's where they people believe that's from. They be watching Zeus, who take them lightning bolts, so-called, and throw them down. Let's go to Isaiah 13 and 19. Where did the fire and brimstone come from? They didn't have ICBM missiles back then. Right? Let's read that real quick. Isaiah 13 and 19.
It's Isaiah 13 and 19. And Babylon, the glory, Isaiah 13 and 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, The beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right. So how's the Lord going to overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah? With the chariots, man. Right. That's plain.
Got precepts.
Con.
Right. Like the brother said, it's gonna be the chariots, man. They're gonna be shooting that fireball and them lasers out. Let's get that in Wisdom of Solomon. Right. This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, right, and verse 21. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad from the clouds. Now, what are the clouds? The clouds are the chariots. Those right aiming thunderbolts, key word, right, meaning on the right side, they're going to aim on a thunderbolt, meaning those missiles, man. Right? Them shots from the chariot. As from a well-drawn bow, right? That's the Lord's, that's twofold, right? The Lord got the bow, he bending back, right? That's Judah, right? And Ephraim, and he got another bow, the ICBM missiles, and he got another bow, right? From the chariots. And the Lord is a man of war, right? As a well-drawn bow, they shall fly to the mark, meaning they're not going to miss. This is not going to be like World War I, right? When you're shooting and people kind of dodging and rolling. People got shields and bucklers, right? They got slingshots they throwing. No, these chariots they not going to miss, right? Hey, John Wick don't got nothing on the chariots, man. Right?
Right.
Your chief shooter, right? That's sitting on top of the rooftop. They got over 1,000 kills. He don't got nothing on the chariots. And when they move, they disappear, right? And they going left and right. They not going to miss, right? And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast out as a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the flood shall cruelly drown them. Right, straight like that. So that's a precept going into how the chariot's going to destroy. Right.
Here's another one. This Psalms chapter 50, and I'll start at 1. Psalms chapter 50 and 1. The mighty God, even Yahweh, hath spoken and called the earth from the rising of the sun until the going down thereof, meaning from the east to the west. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, it says the Most High hath shined, because the Lord coming with the chariots. Our God shall come and shall not keep silence. A fire shall devour before him. So when the Lord comes back, he's going to be issuing out fire and brimstone from before him, right? A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him. So when the Lord comes back, why we keep reading about tempestuous and fire and brimstone? Because that's how he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Hey, the Lord killed the men of Sodom and Gomorrah. The Lord killed the firstborn in Egypt, man. So the Lord is a massive killer, man. Go and tell your pastor the Lord is a killer and righteousness. Hey, they might kick you out that place, man. You know? Brother, that's something else? All right, let's get back to Genesis 19.
This Genesis chapter 19, verse, where we at?
24.
You said what?
24 again.
Verse 24. Then the Lord rained upon.
When you go into the commentary, when they see how fire and brimstone came, they say it was a violent earthquake that spewed up asphalt. Because their mind not right, man.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on. You got it.
Can you hear me?
Salaki. I want to get one more precept on that.
Okay.
Right, just one more. Right, this is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 22 and verse 10. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. He rode upon a cherub and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. Right, talking about the chariots. And he made darkness pavilions round about him, dark waters and thick clouds of the sky. Right, all the chariots. Though the brightness before him, there were coals of fire. The Lord thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice, and he sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning and discomforted them. And that lightning is going into those chariots, man, right? Shooting them lasers out. That firebomb.
Hey, here a precept is Habakkuk 3 and 1. A prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet, upon Signeoth. O Lord, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Lord, Revive thy work. It's like in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. God came from Teman, and the Holy on from Mount Paran, Salah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was hiding of his power. Before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. Right, going to destruction, the missiles, the concentrated fire, which is lightning and lasers. And the scriptures don't gotta say lasers. That's a new word, you know. That's pretty much what it is, right? The Lord said, "I will melt you." And when you look at those sci-fi movies, they got the little lasers and they melt people. That's a big threat. The Lord said, "I will melt you," and that's what He's doing in Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. I'm gonna read 24 again. You got a precept?
Nah.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom.
Salaki, I can get one. Right, let me get that real fast. Right, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 7. Right, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 7. Right, in verse number 12, it says, "If he went not, he will whet his sword. He have bent his bow and made it ready." Right, he have also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Right, let's talk about them ICBM missiles and talking about the chariots. Right, because the chariots, they shoot from that well-drawn bow, just like we got in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. And the Lord has created the smith, right, to blow the coals before he travaileth with iniquity and have convinced mischief and brought forth falsehood. Right, you got it.
Y'all brought forth Job 20.
La.
Let me get that real quick. With the bow of steel or iron weapon.
La.
Let me get this real quick. This Job chapter 20 and verse 23. And this happened. I'm gonna start at 22. Because when Lot left Sodom, nobody knew why Lot was leaving. Right? Everybody was still doing what they was doing. Right? Job chapter 20 and 22. And the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now, this is talking about the so-called white man, but we know we're applying it to Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And the fullness of your sufficiency is another way of saying when you up top, when you got your feet up and you relaxed, when you got everything of your heart's desire, you're going to start catching hell, right? Verse 23, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Because we read that the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah is going to be the same way as Babylon the Great, right? So what a so-called white man is in his underground bunkers, eating good, swimming in his pool, fire and brimstone is going to rain upon his plates. Verse 24, Job 20 and 24. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. What is the iron weapon? That's the missile, man. Right? And the bow of steel is where that missile shoots from. Like that launch pad made of steel or made of certain metals. Then you see the missile come up out the ground. Then it hit its target, man. Right? So that's the iron weapon. The iron weapon destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. You know? The Lord took technology. The Lord has ancient technology, but we think it's futuristic technology. You know? So, bro, that's something else. All right, we can go back to that. Making good time.
This is Genesis chapter 19, verse 25. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground.
Right. And I got a quick map just to show real quick where Sodom, or I had it, Salakia. Well, you can probably look it up on your own. You can look up where Sodom and Gomorrah was. Right, go on.
Verse 26. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
And she looked back because she was reminiscing on things of Sodom and Gomorrah. It might have been a guy she was kind of dealing with. She might have been from Sodom. In the movie of Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot's wife, she actually came from Sodom and Gomorrah. He kind of met her. His first wife died. He kind of met her and took her out, but then she kind of wanted to go back. You know, she might have had a business. You know, there's no telling why she looked back in great detail, but she was reminiscing and was reluctant to leave, man. Like a lot of brothers are going to be in the last days, looking back and became a pillar of salt, right? And that pillar of salt is still here to this day, right? They tell you that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 10th chapter. It's a monument to an unbelieving soul. Meaning for brothers that don't believe, how can you explain the pillar of salt? All right. So let me pull this up. See that? This is the pillar of salt right here. All right, let me see if I can open this. I don't know how to do all that. All right. So here's Lot's wife right here. All right, this is the pillar of salt. She's still there. A lot of you brothers, man, you should make this your lock screen. Because you brothers that keep looking back, take that your favorite football team logo off your lock screen, right? And take your favorite rapper, right? And put this pillar of salt to remind you, hey, I can't be looking back. That's where you men that got a problem, right? Kind of see her head right here, her arms, right? Her body.
You trying to show it?
What up?
Oh, you not see? You can't see it.
Yeah,
Nah.
All right, so lock you. All right. You don't see it?
Mm-mm.
Can y'all see? Yeah, this is the pillar of salt, man. Right? Let me go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10 real quick. Right? This is Lot's wife, man. Make this, you brothers that got a problem with looking back, hey, turn this to your lock screen and see if it helps, man. Every time you open up your phone, you're reminded to keep pressing forward. Right? This it's like I missed that, right? Let me go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Right? This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 6. When the ungodly perished, meaning the Sodomites, she delivered the righteous man, who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities, of whose wickedness, even to this day, the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness, and a standing pillar of salt as a monument of an unbelieving soul. So now it would look like a desert. But remember, we read it used to look like the Garden of Eden in the book of Genesis, chapter 13. And the Lord said, this standing pillar of salt is a monument to an unbelieving soul. So you brothers that don't believe in the scriptures, that don't believe in the work of the Most High, explain this. You know? Just want to pull that up. And there's actual, when you look it up, there's actual, let me pull this up. Bear with me.
That residue?
Right. Yeah, let me pull this up. I kind of spelled it wrong, but that's all right. Bear with me. I'm gonna pull this up. Now, this from so-called ChristianAnswers.net. Right? It says this about Sodom and Gomorrah. It reads, there is ample evidence of subterranean deposits of a petroleum-based substance called bitumen, similar to asphalt, in the region of the south of the Dead Sea. Such material normally contains a high percentage of sulfur. It has been postulated by geologist Frederick Clapp that, now they saying it was an earthquake because the high amount of sulfur that was found in that region. So they're trying to come up with how did this sulfur, high amount of this sulfur get in these cities, man, right? They're saying that pressure from an earthquake could have caused it and it gushed out of the earth and might have been ignited, right? Bear with me. But when you go to the account, they found this high amount of sulfur, that was over 3 feet thick. I mean, 3 feet thick, trying to explain, what happened, man. Right? So only the so-called scientists are even saying that this thing happened, man. So a lot of you Jakes don't believe us, believe the so-called white man.
Huh?
You go back to Genesis 19.
Oh, it's Genesis chapter 19, verse 27. And Abraham got up early in the morning in the place where he stood before the Lord. And
Right?
he stood toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace.
And that's going to happen when Babylon's destroyed. Remember, you read about the different nations. It's going to stand afar off and see the smoke of Babylon coming up, man. Right? In Revelation, the 18th chapter. And that's in Ezekiel chapter 27. So the same thing, man. Right? We represent Abraham. Right? This place is Sodom and Gomorrah.
Let me get that real fast. This Revelation chapter 18 and verse 9. And the kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Right? And that's literal, man. Straight like that. It's going to be on fire. It's going to be smoking. Hey, it's going to be all hell going to be breaking loose, man. Like just like it said, right? And it's the modern day. Let me get that in Revelations, man. 11.
Right.
Right, because this ain't nothing but damn Sodom and Gomorrah all over again. This is every wicked kingdom all over again, man, for real. Tyre, right? Rome, right? It's all of the Babylon, right? Sodom and Gomorrah. It's all of these wicked kingdoms, man, put together, the chief whore. It's the book of Revelation, right? Chapter 11 and verse number 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of that great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord, right, was crucified, right? And our dead bodies, you see Jake don't know who they are. They just lying around, going to and fro. They don't know what's going on. Hey, this is the spiritual Sodom and Egypt, man, right? It said, while our Lord was crucified. So you got to understand these things. This everything are written, like the brother was saying earlier, is written for our foretime. It's homosexuality here, right? It's gonna get destroyed with that brimstone the same way Sodom and Egypt was, man. Right? Sodom and Gomorrah. So like,
let me bear with me. We can finish. We can read on.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 28. Again, let me read this again. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt.
You had it. All right. Yeah, we can read on. We can finish the chapter. We only got a few more.
And Lot went up out of Zoar, Zoar, and dwelt in the mountains, and his two daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth.
So they thought everybody in the earth got destroyed, right?
Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
So they knew we had to keep man on the earth. So they're like, look, we can't have the end of the population end with us. All of mankind is destroyed. We have to have man and human life continue. The only way is to have sex with our father, but we got to kind of rape him. So we're gonna get them drunk, and then we gotta get this thing going, right? Go on.
And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose.
So Lot was twisted, for lack of better terms, man. He was finished, man.
Yeah, G
Right?
got to remember the things back then was a lot stronger, you know.
Yeah, it was potent, right? So he drank that, man, and you know he was done. And they kind of came in and took advantage of him. So he didn't know what was going on, right?
And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
Right.
And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with them. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Benami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day.
Right. And that's the father of the Moabites and the father of the Ammonites, a so-called Chinese man and a so-called Japanese man, right? The children of the Chinese and the children of the Japanese. And I believe Moab in the Hebrew, if I'm pronouncing it right, is Mahawabah, which means of his father or of the father, right? And I saw some pictures via social media of the ancient Moabites, and I was looking for them, but I can't really see them now. All right, but I may do a separate cold cut on that, on the Moabites. But that's where the Chinese man and the Japanese man come from. They have these epicanthal folds, which are the narrow eyes, which is a product of incest and another form of Down syndrome, right? A lot of you people, you look at these Moabites and Ammonites like they got it all figured out. They got Down syndrome. They have a genetic defect, man. Right? Down syndrome, or what they have is a mongoloidism. Mongoloidism, right?
Yeah, I never forget my biology teacher broke that down to us. She said they're not supposed to be born that way. She kept it real with us. She said, so-called white man, we all have recessive genes. I have recessive genes. I got red hair and blue eyes. I'm not supposed to be born this way.
You see that?
And she said the black man is God.
See that? Right?
So
there you have it, man. But with that, that's the Monday Night Fire. Giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushai. Brother, got any closing precepts?
Yeah, I'm gonna get one.
Huh.
All right, we go to Revelation chapter 3 and verse 3. Right? It's the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 3. Remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast, and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Right? So the Lord said, remember, right? Therefore, how thou hast received and heard. Remember all of the breakdowns. Remember everything you saw. Right? Remember everything of the scriptures, the parables, the prophecies, everything brothers is going to, right? And repent. You got to hold these things fast and repent, right? If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come and be as a thief. Thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee, right? So you got to always be girded, always be looking at the signs, and don't just be in a damn down the street news. Lord Devin got shot at the liquor store. Get into the world news so you know the events that are going on throughout the earth, man. Don't sit there and watch, right, a channel 2 all day, man. Right? Have your eyes open to what's going on throughout the four corners of the earth. Watch the prophecies coming to pass and watch everything unfolding before our eyes.
That's right.
Is Luke chapter 17, verse 32. Remembers Lot's wife. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it.
That's right.
Just like that.
Just like that. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So the Most High is going to reward you based on your work and your labor and your effort and your diligence and your time and your skills that you have put in to magnify Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. I was saying earlier, every day a brother should wake up. They should say, well, what can I do today to magnify Yahweh Bashim Yahushua? How can I push this truth, right? What can I do, right? Because the Most High is going to reward you for that. And if you're not doing that, hey, you're not going to make it, you know? But with that, I'm going to close out. We're going to close out. Just the number to call in. We'll take questions, right? You can see the question on the live chat. I believe it should be on there. 213-603-9096. And the PIN number is 94809-305 for those who have questions. Sincere questions, right? Not calling in to cause an argument and debate. You got to put that out there now. Sincere questions. You got it, Yardan.
If you know what our doctrines are, don't ask, well, look, I got a doctrine. Why isn't it this way? Look, you know what we doing. Don't try to cause, division.
Right. Yeah, that would be madness. All right. But with that, for those in the Atlanta area, right, we will be officially starting the WFI Atlanta. We'll be down there November the 19th, the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd, right? And we'll put a schedule out there, the itinerary, right? So brothers can see, for those in the area, what time we're going to do Sabbath service and camp time and break bread and fellowship one with another, right? We'll put that out there again. We'll be out there in Atlanta the 19th through the 22nd of November, most high willing. All right. And with that, Brother Naquan,
Brother Yardan,